morning and welcome to GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. It's a beautiful brand new day and you are tuning to the favorite online radio station. Here we bring you the latest headlines making waves in the news, from politics to business, from entertainment to sports, and everything in between. We've got you covered with the most relevant stories shaping the nation and beyond. As usual, I am your host, Esina Fiagbedu, and joining me today in today's newspaper review is Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning to my gorgeous ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
We are good. I'm good.
I'm doing well.
Hope you slept well.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to hear. So let's dive straight into the headlines for today. Mahama swears in Council of State members. President John Dramani Mahama has sworn in the newly appointed and elected members of the Council of State. This follows the appointment in accordance with Articles 89 to 92 of the 1992 Constitution and successful election as representatives of the 16 regions during the Council of State elections. The swearing-in ceremony marks the official start of their roles as a Council of Elders, offering wisdom and oversight to the presidency. So President John Dramani Mahama has sworn in Council of State members. What do you make of that? What's your thoughts on the story, Ms. Debbie?
I think it's very necessary because Council of State, they are more or less like people who gives advice to the president, or they give advice on they give advice not only to the president but also give advice on something that is going on in the country. So I believe that what President Mahama has done, it's a good thing. Definitely every president is supposed to have a minister of state council. It's like that, or how do you
Council of State?
Council of State ministers, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's very necessary. The only problem I have is when the chaos erupted between
during
their election. That was the only problem I have, because someone who is supposed to advise or give advice to the president, and you are being involved in something like that. Just imagine the kind of advice you'll be giving to the president. I'm not saying maybe you will get and then you'll be giving a bad advice, but then it has already given us a brief understanding or a brief knowledge about what you will do when you get there. Okay. Because as a Council of State minister, you are supposed to portray a good image out there. So it's necessary, because every government that comes in power actually needs a Council of State minister. It's just like a chief. A chief has an advisor. Even in movies, we do see it. In a case where things are difficult and it's like your mind cannot think properly, then they come in. So I think I'm just trying to compare these two things, or because they are similar. Yeah. It's just like a chief having an advisor, and then a president, and a chief in a society is equally like a head or a president to that community. Yeah. And so it's necessary for a president to have a state minister. So that's it. That's a good step. But then what they did is actually a question mark. They have a question mark.
Okay, Ms. Regina, what's your thoughts on the headline?
Okay, so as my colleague said, it's very important and it's necessary for every president of a state to have Council of Elders. I feel that without having Council of Elders, as a president, there are certain things you can't do alone. Ejumani now, you can't do everything. If a president is supposed to do everything as a president to make sure this nation goes on well, I'm not sure there will be the need for him to appoint ministers or even the need for assemblymen or MPs to be elected. So we see the importance of having Council of Elders, and also to their mission. So their mission is to offer credible, impartial and timely advice to the President of the Republic, Ministers of State, Parliament and other public agencies to ensure responsible and accountable governance. So once again, as my colleague said, the President can't think on his own. She made a comparison between the President and Nigerians. Mostly when we watch in Nigerian movies, we see the king and about 16 or 20 elders seated. When there's a chaos going on in a community, these elders come together to bring their own suggestion on board to the king. The king has the right to take it or leave it, but we all know that definitely the king will take it. The king doesn't have the head to think on its own. When they all come together, we will see the effectiveness of their power. So that's all I have to say.
So, Ms. W, what do you expect from these Council of States?
Yeah, I expect a lot from them because I think or I believe that the president do not just sit down and then appoint Minister of State. You have been appointed because there is a role you are supposed to play. You have been appointed because there is a gap you are supposed to fill in. And so if you are being, because a lot of people has actually filed for that kind of position. It's not a position that you will be there to play. It's not a position that you can just sleep and wake up and then you
get it.
Yes, it's something that entails a lot. And so if among 1,000 you are being voted to become a state council of state minister or member or members, you have a lot to do. Make sure that what you are there to do, you do it accordingly. Don't do things that are not contrary to the reason why you've been appointed as a council of state minister. You are not to give, and you see, as a council of state minister, as a council of state member, I believe you are not there to be, I believe that it's not a partisan something. You are supposed to be a partial person or a non-partisan, because it's a non-partisan entity. I stand to be corrected. Or it's a non-partisan entity. You are there to advise the president. And so I feel like if you are being given the nod, or since you are being given the nod, you are there for the people. You are there for the people. You are there for all the political parties. You are not there for party A or party B. So you should be careful with the kind of advice you give the president. As I said earlier on, sometimes you can be engulfed with a lot of situations that you cannot even think right. You can, especially when people are demonstrating here and then, government, we need this, we need that. Then another situation, the citizens are calling you, institutions are calling you, like you are one person, but then as if you are surrounded by thousands of problems,
billions.
Yes, and you cannot sit down. Even sitting down, like you are hot. You don't know which one to tackle first. But with the council of state members, it helps you because someone can actually give advice or say something that can actually calm you down or bring on board steps or plans that will actually have a great impact on the country. So I feel like they have a lot to do. You are not just there because to have the fame. I know people actually go in for position because they want to be known, but council of state member or members, you have a lot to do. You have a lot to do.
They have a lot to do. Thank you so much for that submission. On to our next newspaper headline. Communications Minister orders NCA to shut down 7 radio stations. The Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, has ordered the closure of 7 radio stations across the country. He stated that the decision was taken to enforce compliance with broadcasting regulations and national security requirements. Announcing the directive in a Facebook post on Tuesday, 8th February, the minister said, "Today, in 2 separate cases, I have directed the National Communications Authority Ghana to suspend and enforce a prohibition of broadcast on 7 radio stations in total." He explained that 1 station was shut down on national security grounds, while the remaining 6 were found to be operating without valid frequency authorization. These are the works of our communications minister. Can you share your thoughts on them, Regina Bless?
Okay. It saddens my heart because as a nation, or Ghana as a whole, we the citizens will be the same people to always complain that the laws of Ghana do not work. We are a lawless country, but we ourselves are not being loyal citizens. We are not abiding by laws and regulations. A country can't move forward without laws and regulations. As a media stations, there are certain requirements you need to have before you can operate as a media station. I would use schools as an example. Before a school can operate, a school should have the necessary requirements that protect the school as a whole and also protect the teachers and students in it as a whole. You can't just wake up one day and say that I want to build a school building without going through the necessary process. I would use I wouldn't mention the school's name, but there's, when you most especially check these SHS, anytime they are going for should I say WASI, there's some schools do not have the requirements, so they sometimes do not write on their own. They have to merge with other schools as one before they can even have an examination center or an index number before they can write their WASI, which is very wrong. So as a media station, you do not have the necessary requirements. You are not even thinking of the welfare of your journalists. So with these 7 stations, Fire Group of Companies, Sunyani, what is this? Isa Consort Limited. Isa Consort Limited, that's a ICT company. Obo Channel Media Group, Adidome, Ochami Radio Limited, Mumun Bono Foundation, Osikeni Community FM. Wait. So I feel, and I would applaud the Minister for Communication for doing this, because it's very, very, very important. That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss.
I'm not surprised because previous government did same, and I'm not saying this because it's a political credit that they want to know, but let's look at this. Every media station is supposed to do 3 things: to educate, to inform, and to entertain. Not to only educate, but what you are putting out there should be credible, should be vivid. What you're putting out there should have a proof, should have like evidence to what you are saying. You don't just establish a radio station because you feel like you want to establish it, or you feel like you can talk, or you feel like you are being heard, or you feel like anytime you go out there and then you talk to people, they listen to you. No, establishing a radio station comes with a whole lot. Yes, frequency is part, but then even if you pass through the right procedures to establish a radio station, as I said, what content are you putting out there? Is it educative enough? Is it something that will promote the country? Is it something that will develop the community in which you are? Are you putting out a content, exposing the need of the society or the community you found yourself in for the government to come to their aid, or you are there just because you feel like establishing a radio station? So as I said, this isn't something very new to me, and some of the stations, when you open and then you are listening, it just, like, for me, it doesn't, what they are saying does not even sit well with me. I know of this station, I won't mention them, but then I know of this station that anytime I tune in, either they are talking about how to enlarge your butt, or how to enlarge your breast, or they are talking about drugs or sika gari, how to illegal way of getting money. They are educating on how to like involve yourself into this large illegal ways of making money and stuff. And you see, a time came where government, I think there was a ban on such things, but it didn't get to anywhere because almost all the stations you tune into, they are communicating something that is bad, information that will trigger someone to engage in certain activities. And I can say that because of what people are saying, most of the youth are now engaging in rituals and styles, because they will tell you it's not about killing human beings, it's about bringing money. And it's because, I'm not trying to divert what you are saying, but it's because we refuse to think. We refuse to think in the sense that if I portray myself to be a fetish priestess and I'm actually doubling money, when you bring 1,000, I'll give you 2,000. Why not spend my 2,000 if I know I can actually expand the money you are bringing? Why not spend my money? But it's because we refuse to think. And so I'm sending 100 CDs for you to give me 1,000 CDs. If I can actually expand 100 CDs to over 3,000, why not spend my money? And you see, sessions like this needs to be banned, because you are not there to communicate something like educative to the community. You are not there to communicate something that is vivid enough, like the quality of the content you are putting out there, how educative it is. No, we don't pay attention to it. All that we know is that we establish a station, and anything that comes in mind, we put it out there. Like, certain things like this are not to be shown on television. How to get money, quick money. All the stations, quick money. Within a twinkle of an eye. I would say that 99% of the stations we have in Ghana here, it's either Sikagari or enlargement of the butt, enlargement of the breast. All these stations needs to be collapsed. The 7 is small. The 7 is small.
Do you have any other thing to say, Miss Regina?
The 7 is small.
It's small. There are a lot. There are a lot.
So the 7 is small indeed. So, as she said, the media is there to educate and inform on current affairs, situations going on in the country. A media station is a voice for the voiceless.
Yeah. So, on to our next newspaper headline. Ken Ofori-Atta no longer a wanted person. Former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is no longer wanted by authorities following a decision to withdraw the declaration that has labeled him a fugitive from justice. This development comes after the Office of the Special Prosecutor initially issued a wanted notice for Ofori-Atta in connection with an ongoing investigation into alleged financial misconduct. A fresh statement indicated that Mr. Ofori-Atta has today communicated to the OSP the date for his voluntary return. On the back of this, the OSP has removed his name from the wanted list. Wow. This issue is going back and forth. What's your thoughts on it, Miss Regina?
Okay, so before I say anything, let's read the press release. Just a quick one.
Okay.
So on 12th February 2025, the special prosecutor declared Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta, former Minister of Finance, a wanted person and a fugitive from justice on the ground that he had failed to indicate a reasonable time of his return to the jurisdiction. Although he had been informed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor that he was a suspect in various suspected corruption and corruption-related cases, he had been directed to physically attend the OSP in Accra on a specified date at a specified time for interviewing. On February 18th, Mr. Ofori-Atta transmitted a communication through his lawyers to the OSP by which he stated a definite date of his voluntary return to the jurisdiction. This marks a major shift from Mr. Ofori-Atta's previous intention of remaining outside the jurisdiction. On that same day, OSP acceded to Mr. Ofori's Atta's request as it deemed his stated date of voluntary return to the jurisdiction reasonable in the circumstances. On that same day, the OSP rescheduled the date of Mr. Ofori's attendance at the OSP, taking into account Mr. Ofori's stated date of voluntary return to the jurisdiction. On that same day, he declared him not wanted and not a fugitive again. As a special prosecutor or office of the special prosecutor, the rules governing this institution is for you to investigate and go ahead and prosecute. In the sense that you I know this thing, people will bash me, but the OSP has no right to declare Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta a fugitive or declare him as wanted. Yes, it isn't his duty. So if you have the necessary evidence as the special prosecutor, you go ahead to courts, present your case, then a case is made out of your case, then it's been presented to the legal team of Ken Ofori-Atta. And also to Ken Ofori-Atta, you do not wait for this long for a situation to go out of hands before you speak directly or before you send your legal team to special prosecutor on when you want to return, when you do not want to return. First of all, I feel it is disrespect because you knew the right thing to do, but what's the other? Asem no escalating before you had to come in. All this while, what was your legal team doing? What were they doing? I know for a fact that special prosecutor wouldn't also just wake up one day and declare you as a fugitive. I'm very sure he went through the necessary step, reached out to you, but to no avail. So for the special prosecutor, his only duty, his sole mandate is to investigate an issue and prosecute it. But he has no right to also come out to declare someone wanted. Yeah.
For me, it shows how unserious we are as a nation. I know that the role of a special prosecutor is to investigate, but I'm sure you don't come out when you know perfectly well that you've not done your homework well, or you've not done putting together what is needed, or you don't come out when you know very well that you've tried reaching out to the person but you haven't gotten a solid answer from the person. You don't come and then hold us in suspense. It doesn't make sense, because this issue, as I say, is a sensitive issue, and all the media platforms, everyone is talking about it. So we've taken it as, because a case which has to deal with corruption is not a case we will take slightly. But all of a sudden you come out and then you tell us that the person you came out to announce that he's wanted. How do you expect me to take it? First of all, I see you, the person giving me the information, as unserious. And two, you've degraded your reputation. You've degraded your reputation because you are supposed to do all the necessary things. You talk to the person, maybe you call the person and the person said, I cannot make it, you know. So you shouldn't come out to say anything until you are done, until you are perfectly aware and sure that this is it. Then you come out to let us know that this is what is going on. You don't hold us in suspense. No. So for me, we are unserious. This is a corruption. So it tells me now that even criminals can tell us when they are returning to the country. Yes.
Okay.
Because when I'm sick and I'm in the hospital, I now know the time I'll be fine and the time I wouldn't be fine. Yes. I know sometimes the doctor can actually give you assurance that by the ending of this week you'll get well, but the doctor isn't in your body. The doctor doesn't know how you are feeling, even though through their their equipment and stuff, they can actually detect when you get war. But sometimes their predictions are wrong. So when the criminals, I'm not saying Mr. Kenoforieta is a criminal, but when criminals are identified in this country, they now show us what to do, and we've accepted it. For us to fight corruption in this country, to take the grace of God.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dawson. So, moving on to our last newspaper headline for today. 7 assault cases against journalists under Mahama unprecedented. The president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Kwabena Jumfor, has strongly condemned the Mahama administration over the rising number of assaults on journalists. Mr. Dumfor revealed that since the start of President Mahama's administration, 7 cases of journalist attacks have been recorded, describing the situation as unprecedented. Expressing deep concern over the lack of accountability for perpetrators, he criticized the government's failure to take decisive action against those responsible. Attacks on journalists. We all
this
saw
issue
that.
again.
Yes, we all saw that. Briefly share your thoughts.
I am once again, as my colleague said, journalists or media stations as a whole are there to educate and inform Ghanaians, not only Ghanaians but also outsiders. Journalists are a voice for the voiceless. Without we the journalists, you as a normal citizen can't speak. You would talk, but who will listen to you? No one will listen to you. You would be like then days where women were not being listened to. Excuse me to say, that is how you would be like. So as journalists, Ghanaians should really respect journalists. That respect for journalists are no longer there. Because why would you assault journalists when they are there to fetch information? And also to the president, to the GJA president, I feel that he also have a hand in this, in the sense that there are then times where journalists are being assaulted, but the only thing he comes to do is give a press conference, give a press statement, you just talk boah, then you just leave without no actions. You as the president of journalists, what are you doing? What actions have you put in place to make sure that your people are not being assaulted? Have you made sure that all these people, you know that sometimes there are even videos where a journalist is being assaulted, you could clearly see the person's face, but we are not seeing any actions. No one is being taken to court, no one is being detained, no one is being arrested, nothing. The only thing he does is to just come, you talk, you blame people. Who are you blaming? You are blaming Mahama to do what? Mahama should go and arrest the people for you. I don't understand. So you as the boss, what are you doing to help your people? So if your people are in trouble, the only thing you do is to just give a press statement. That is all, without no actions, nothing. Rest my case.
Journalists are equally important like the president and the ministers appointed. Just as when a minister is coming to, for example, let's say Anya, one minister is coming to Anya, we have an escort of 1,000 policemen escorting him to Anya. I feel like it's about time journalists should also have this kind of security personnel deployed to follow them when they are going to cover sensitive issues, especially when it has to do with investigative journalism. Now let's take Ahmed Hussein Swale for example. This man has been killed, if I'm like, for almost 5 am I going too far? I stand to be corrected, for 5 or 4 years now, and then we still don't know who murdered Ahmed Swale. But I was in this country when one member of parliament made a video that he knows a person working with the Tiger Eye team, that's
A+.
No, the Tiger Eye team. They said Anas team. He showed his picture, and he was like, if you meet him anywhere, beat him. It wasn't up to a week. We heard the news that Ahmed Hussein Swale was being killed by unknown assailants. That's as if that wasn't enough. Caleb Kuda of CCTV, Zoya Abubedu, they were also assaulted by policemen to the extent that they slapped him, and he came complaining that his parents were asking him to stop the work. You see, this work entails a lot. One, our security needs to be taken seriously, because sometimes you go to cover up story and people treat you as if you like you're not a human being. But we journalists are the voice of the people. We also act as watchdogs to make sure that we hold the leaders accountable, and we work hand in hand with the government. If we don't exist, the government doesn't exist, because whatever is going on, we put it out there for people to know what is going on. If journalism as a whole is not regarded in this country, I don't think when the president wants to give when the president wants to release a press or has something to say to the public, he wouldn't even mention the press or call for stations to come and record him, because he knows how important journalists are in the country. But we do all this thing and then they don't really care about how we are being handled outside there. So even though the government can do his part, but as the leader of GJA, what's the name? Is it Kwabena doing for?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What measures are you putting in place to ensure that such threat? And you know, sometimes the country, I remember, was it in Adan or somewhere where the presenter, morning show like this, the presenter was actually doing his work, and then it looks as if the member of parliament in that area wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He was talking, and then immediately they bashed into the station, and then they beat the hell out of him. I won't even go long. Metro TV last year, is it Good Morning Ghana or Good Evening Ghana? I think it's Good Morning Ghana. The same thing. And it looks as if like these things kept on going on because we don't do anything about it. Journalists are equally important, as I said, like the president, like the government. When we don't exist, they don't exist. And when they don't exist, we also don't exist, because we work hand in hand. So long as we are helping you, we are promoting you out there, we are making sure that whatever you say is getting out there, then you should also do something for us. You should also, because it's sometimes embarrassing when you go to the day we went to Parliament House. Look at how we were treated.
I know, right?
From office to office, office to office, asking us questions as if we are not human beings. They really stress the hell out of us. So it's about time they do something about it. It's very necessary. Else, if the media decide that we are not going to work, just imagine the kind of chaos that will befall the country. Thank you.
Okay, so to add up, just a quick one, to add up with what she said, I would use Ghana Education Service as an example. In a situation where one teacher was stabbed in the eyes, and also in a situation where most students have now taken chaos as their food that they eat, GES came out boldly to talk against it. They put measures and steps in place to make sure that all these things wouldn't happen again. So you, as the GJA president, you telling someone else to do what you are supposed to do is uncalled for. You are supposed to be bold enough, come out and save your people. There was a video where I watched an upcoming journalist. He went to cover a story and chaos erupted. He was shot in the leg. Up till now, he still have an issue with his leg. He even boldly said that he regretted going into the journalism field. As Sister Debbie said, when ministers or MPs are going for an occasion, see the number of escorts behind them, in front, beside. So how much more we journalists putting our lives on the line for Ghanaians? So something has to be done about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That'll be all for our newspaper headline for today. Join us as we go for the Debbie's Grill.
Morning, patriotic citizens of Ghana. Thank you for joining me again on Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues of state concerns with all critical look. We delve into it with credibility. This morning I'm deeply sad. Even though I've received the shock of my life, I'm sad. Why? Because with all due respect,
This is GhanaTalks.
we've refused to reason as a country. Why? Because we've refused to pay attention to key factors, to the needs of the taxpayers of this country. I don't understand why we have over 14.8 million of unemployed youth walking about, while some institutions are in need of trained graduates. Now let's head to Sanojiada, I stand to be corrected, DA Primary School in Tatali. That's some part of Northern region. Now there is shortage of teacher trainees at the school I just mentioned. Now in this school, a school that constitutes from nursery to primary 6, they have only 2 trained teachers. And they have only 3 classrooms, which means the students are congested. So I don't understand how a student of nursery 1, nursery 2, definitely we have nursery 1, nursery 2, KG1, KG2 all in one class. Class 1, class 2, class 3 in one class. Class 4, class 5 and P6 all in one class. But you and I know that the stages of education in Ghana is step by step. You move from nursery to KG, from KG to P1, from P1 to P2. So just imagine nursery, KG, P1, P2 all combined in the same class. What I'm saying is, producer, please be showing the videos and the pictures for me. This information was actually gathered from Joy News. And it's a pity. It's a pity. Because we have about 14.8 million unemployed youths walking about, having no hope for the future. And this school is lacking trained teachers. 2 teachers handling from nursery to pieces. Does it make sense to us as a country? Not at all. Not at all. And so teachers that are not trained are being pushed to volunteer themselves to teach these students. They are not qualified, but because they have the future, because they have the future generation at heart, they have to be doing this. And you see, I'm talking, so the voice, the audio wouldn't be sure. There is a place where the man was actually he was just as the way we do in our education system, where you will say A and then the students also say A. He misplaced L, so A B C D E F G H instead of L M N. He jumped to M, and these innocent children were also learning same. They are the verge of failure, but we don't know. We don't know. And you see, what is actually paining me the more is, according to them, the member of parliament for Tatale actually promised them a school building so that they can actually have comfort. You know, when it has to do with education, the environment has to be very conducive. But you can see with your eyes, students are sitting on a concrete block. Will you allow your child into such school? Let's just be sincere to ourselves. And after he was voted into power, he stopped. You see the reason why when I say as a country we have problem, and it's to take the grace of God. I mean, God has to deliver us. We have to go back into our mother's womb for us to be born again. Like they have to give birth to us again. God has to psych our mind. I mean, work on us. Because we have a very big issue. So sometimes I wonder what our leaders go out there to learn about. Because what they learn from the international world, that's not what they are impacting our education. Because you cannot tell me you are impacting something very important into our education, then your children go out there to study in abroad. Why would your children study in abroad? Because you haven't done your homework at home, and you feel like if your child is attending schools like this, there is no way they are going to. I mean, you understand what I'm trying to say? Students sitting on a concrete block to study in class. They are lacking trained teachers. But I can barely count about hundreds or millions of teachers, graduate teachers in this country that are still not employed. And we are keeping quiet. We are not saying anything. It's annoying. Very annoying and disheartening. As a country, we only go to the people when we need the vote. We go to them when we need power. But after we've gotten it, they are more or less like a trash to us. We don't care. What comes out of them is none of our business. Look at these innocent souls. Oh, they are learning ABCD, but one letter has been missing. They have no idea. For them, they are learning. And if you listen to the English the man is saying, you could see that very painful. Very, very painful. So then when we sit here and we say that our leaders don't have us at heart, they feel like we are ranting, but we are actually saying the truth. This is not a hearsay something. That's it there. You are seeing it. They have a member of parliament. But look at where they are staying. Even with the school, they have to use blocks too. So with this one too. Oh, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. We need prayers, so we need prayers. This one, fasting and prayers, like they have to add Cain. What they are praying for us, they are lashing us, so that we can think and rethink war. It's very painful. Very, very painful. Who does that? Who does that? As a country, we focus so much on, when it comes to educational sectors in these areas, and we've forgotten that these people are part of Ghanaians. We've forgotten at all. Like, we don't even care about them. When it has to do with education in this country, we have a lot to do. I said it, that the foundation of this country is education. But we don't care. We don't care. All we know is to come out and speak big English, big vocabulary, so that we'll still have a clapping. PhD. Then when they are reading your early life biography from masters to PhD to whatever you will call it. But look at this. Innocent souls. Their life, their future is at the verge of failure. This one is total failure. And you see, what is paining me is that because the parents of this world want them to acquire education, want the best education for their children, they are working on the farms of the volunteered teachers so that they can teach their children. They are working on the farm of the volunteered teachers, so that the volunteer teachers can teach them, because no teacher is coming there. Even me, when you see the place is not even developed. So even if the teacher gets and you look at the situation, will be like, oh, you see, that's why sometimes I don't blame when the NSS personnel they change where they've been posted to. All this counts. It counts. We are not doing our work. Mr. Thomas Mbambo, I'm sorry if I'm not mentioning your surname very well. You have a lot to do. Look at that. It's a shame. It's a total shame. This is a cloud of shame that is engulfing you. Just look at it. And we will sit and be speaking big English. Well done. Let me even clap. We are doing well. This is the kind of education we want for our people. If this is the kind of education we want for our wards, then let's continue. The other time I was saying that the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Education designate, Mr. Haruna Idris, you have a lot of work to do. Please don't focus on only Greater Accra region. Go into the villages. When you get it, that is when you will know that there is a lot of work to do. But when you stay like Greater Accra here, there is no way you are going to see this. And sometimes the people you are point into these small villages, they don't do their work. They take the money and they spend it. It's better you go there yourself one time, just a tour, and then you know what is going on there. Look, on bare floor, you've dressed a child to go to school, and by the time he returns, as if he has worked, he has gone to work with road constructors. It's very sad. So you now understand the reason why I said I'm very sad, very, very sad. We have a lot to do in terms of education. And the other time I was saying that we pay so much attention to the tertiary institution, and then we are forgoing, we've left behind the basic and secondary education, and it's very sad for us. There is a lot of work to do. Please employ those trained graduates that are working about. That thing they've got, they are not thinking they've gone to school for nothing. We have a lot of trained teachers. If possible, that licensure exam, it should be taken out. Because most of them, they really know what they are there to do. But this licensure exam and whatsoever we are calling it, and then the students are suffering, and teachers are at home, they are not getting work to do, and students are suffering. 2 trained teachers handling from primary, nursery to class 6. 2 trained teachers. How? And it's not as if they have different classes where the students sit. Nursery, KG1, KG2 in one class, class 1, class 2, class 3 in one class, class 4, class 5, PCs in one class. How are you going to teach this ones? Because it's a step-by-step something. You have to acquire knowledge from nursery. Then when you get to KG, they teach you something more about what it entails to be in KG1. Then you get to class 1, then they teach you what it entails to be in class 1. It's a step by step. But now that you are combining class 1, class 2, class 3 in one class. Oh, Ghana. Producer, it's okay. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Debbie's girl. And I think that's all that's happening. We are praying the government comes to our aid. Up next, we have Today in History. And did you know? And Miss Regina Bless will be giving us that.
So good morning to all our cherished listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. I believe we are all ready to learn the little I have for today. So today in history, 1945, Iwo Jima invaded by US Marines. On this day, during the final phases of World War II, US Marines invaded Iwo Jima so as to wrest control of the strategically important island from the Japanese, who put up fierce resistance in the ensuing battle. Today in history, 2008, Fidel Castro formally resigned as president of Cuba. He was succeeded by his brother, Raul. Today in history, 1881, Kansas was the first U.S. state to include the prohibition of alcohol beverages in its state constitution, which it did in 1881. This was more than 30 years before the 18th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which established prohibition nationwide from 1920 to 1933. Today in history, 1965, Malcolm X assassinated. Malcolm X, who articulated concepts of racial pride and black nationalism in the United States, was assassinated this day in 1965 and became an ideological hero after the posthumous release of the autobiography of Malcolm X. Away from that, moving to Did You Know Facts. The only country that doesn't celebrate Independence Day is Ethiopia. It is the only African country not to be colonized. They successfully defeated Italy at the Battle of Adwa. I repeat, Ethiopia is the first African country not to be colonized, so there is no need for them to celebrate Independence Day as how Ghanaians always celebrate Independence Day. To our last Did You Know for today, did you know that red irritated eyes after swimming in a pool isn't caused by chlorine, but also it is caused by urine? Yes, you heard that right. It is caused by urine. So if you go to pool and you swim and your eyes are itchy, they are red, it's not chlorine, but rather caused by Johnson urine. So that's all for today. Meet me same time tomorrow. Sister Isanam.
Thank you so much for the education. So I guess we should be careful when we go to the public pools, right?
Yeah.
It's not chlorine, but it's what?
Urine. So
be careful of where you swim. I think we have like 5 minutes before we go for our news at 8:00 a.m. Before that, yesterday I saw this, or we all did, and I think I was happy about it. Mahama publicly declaring his assets.
yeah,
Do you think that's a good start?
it is a very good start, because leadership by example.
Yeah.
If you're the president, you do not declare your assets. Who am I to declare my assets? And also, one good thing about it is one good thing about it is one
good thing about it
English is very
it's because you're saying it in the house, you feel like
okay. So one good about it is it's not being declared publicly, but rather they are being declared in a document form and presented to the Auditor General for him to go through. And with, I think, March 31st is the deadline. I feel it's too long, because if you are not engaged in any, excuse me to say, shitty business, why should that declaring your asset take you that long? You just document it. I have this, I have that, I have this business, I have this houses, this is the kind of amount in my bank account. 2 days ago you can do it.
I sorry to cut you. I think that's an ample time for them
to
put their documents together. Maybe you have a particular land and then you can't find a document or something. I think
you can't find your land document.
That's enough time for you to put all your documents in place.
You can't find your land documents. Hey, no. 24 hours can do so that's the document.
Hey, Ghanaians.
Declaring assets.
So I think it's a means of showing how accountable you are, how transparent you are, and how you've actually aim to make sure that any of your ministers you've appointed work to show accountability and to work to show how transparent your government should be. And so as a president doing that, it speaks a whole lot. It speaks of how determined you are to let accountability reign, because you see, as it stands now, the citizens of Ghana has lost interest in government, whether NPP or NDC. They've lost interest in the leaders because they've said things more than that, but then we didn't see it. Sometimes when they come into power, they make sure that their first step, their first initiative they take actually proves how accountable they want to be, but then at the end of the day, we don't know what happens, and then it crashes down. And so with Muhammad doing this, it's a good start. So let's say me very soon I'll be appointed. So you should be.
Amen.
If I should be appointed right now to the presidency office or the Minister of Communication or the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have to come and declare my assets, so that in case I built a house, or like all of a sudden I have bought a private jet.
Whose money?
We all know how much it costs to buy a private jet, and maybe the salary you are taking, when you should save times 4 years, you cannot even buy a private jet.
True.
You see, so if I should declare my assets, and then unfortunately by the 4-year term that my duty will come to an end, and then within a space of 1 month for my term to come to an end, I owe a jet. I owe about 1,000 or 400 estate companies. Just imagine, it means I've looted deep down from Ghanaians. So it's good. It's a good start, and I pray that it continues like that. Not that they will come when you start like this and then you don't end well. It's just how unserious, like the Office of the Special Prosecutor. It's just how unserious you are. Yes, it's just how unserious you are. Because you cannot come out and tell us that like you are holding this person accountable. As an OSP, even investigative journalist, if maybe I know something about Q and I'm not sure, I shouldn't yes, I'm not supposed to say it. I'm supposed to get my evidence that prove that Q is guilty before I come out, because when I come out and then Q tries to prove me wrong, then I have to show my evidence. These are the solid proof that you are guilty of what I'm saying. So for me, I think the OSP did not do his job well. So you have to do your job well. So to Mahama, he's doing his best, but I'm praying and hoping that it ends well.
I'm just hoping that it's not one kind of policy that wouldn't be enforced. Like some people will bring up their assets and some people wouldn't. Once he has given them a deadline and then he has told them that
they will
face strict
office.
Consequences, and even to the extent of them removal from office. I think it should be enforced.
When is the deadline?
31st March.
Oh,
come on. You people
no. This is not something that should take, like, I should say, in 24 hours.
24 hours.
I have 3 buildings. I have this. I have that. Something small. You document it, and then that's it. Up to 31st March.
February is ending.
No.
Next week is March.
They almost have 40 days or 39 days. So 31 days of March, and how many days of this month?
It's left.
I think it's a good time.
No.
Don't you think?
It's a red flag.
It's a red flag.
Oh my God! Now your president is a red flag.
It's a red flag. You see, I said earlier that we no longer trust these people. We are just giving them opportunity. Politicians. You know, yesterday when I was in the car, someone was like, I now understand. Both MPP and NDC are the same because of what the OSP done. So he was like, how can you come out to tell us something very important like this, and then you come out to tell us again that the person is not wanted? So that's why I say it shows how unserious you are. You have to be prepared, know what you're about to say, and be ready for the consequences. Now criminals are telling us the time they will come and report themselves, the time we should interview them, the time we should get them arrested in Ghana.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Newspaper Review. We come your way again tomorrow, 7 a.m. It's 8 o'clock. Let's go for the news.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Daybreak News on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up this morning, government to introduce national standardized tests to prepare pupils before PECE. Become CSM and cholera outbreaks under control, Akando. In some other stories this morning, Peace Council to boost religious tolerance in senior high schools, and Mahama submits his assets declaration to Auditor General. This business, sports and showbiz is coming in this morning's bulletin. The news will be read by Awentemi Akansukum. Now let's settle for the details.
This is GhanaTalks Radio.
The Minister of Health, Governor Binta Akando, has assured the public that the current outbreak of cholera and cerebrospinal meningitis, CSM, is under control. He emphasized that the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and donor agencies are actively addressing the situation. Minta Akando stressed the importance of ongoing public awareness and urged citizens to maintain clean environment, particularly as the rainy season nears, to prevent future disease outbreak. He also encouraged people to seek medical attention promptly if they suspect any symptoms of this disease. In a media briefing on Tuesday, February 18th, following the receipt of medical supplies from the World Health Organization aimed at combating CSM in the Upper West region, the health minister called on donors and the business community to assist in managing the health crisis. Akando's call for calm and cooperation underscores the effort being made to control the outbreak and highlights the critical role of public cooperation in ensuring the effectiveness of these measures. Now, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu has announced plans to introduce what he calls a national standardized test in basic schools to prepare students for the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BCE. The exams would be conducted for students in Class 2, Class 4, Class 6, and JHS 2. Speaking at a public forum Monday, February 17th, Haruna Idrisu indicated that the national standardized test is aimed at psychologically preparing pupils for the BCE and many other national tests. He indicated that I am also happy to announce that a national standardized test will be introduced in Ghana to P2, P4, P6 and JSS2, and the intention is simple. You don't want to tell the child that the only time he is asked to write exam is to prepare for BCE and get ready for BCE when the child has never gone through even the psychological environment of an examination classroom. Therefore, we intend to introduce the NST, a national standardized test, which will introduce children to prepare for the world of an examination.
To some other stories, the National Peace Council (NPC) has announced plans to launch a document aimed at addressing religious discrimination in senior high schools. The communique, which is awaiting final approval from the Ghana Education Service, is expected to, among other things, uphold the freedom of religion as enshrined in the 1992 Constitution. Speaking to City News, Executive Secretary of the National Peace Council, George Amon, noted that the document will be a guide in fostering religious coexistence in senior high schools. Following the 2015 issue that came up around the hijab, the Peace Council facilitated dialogue with all the religious leaders in the country, particularly those who were into mission schools. So we were able to come up at that time, 2015, with a 10-point communique. We couldn't fully implement them for several reasons, including money. But when the issue of Wesley Girls came up, we thought we should revisit that campaign, and we have succeeded in getting all the mission schools in Ghana Education Service to buy into our MOU that will guide religious behavior in our secondary schools across the country. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has officially submitted his assets declaration form to the Auditor General. The declaration was filed on the morning of Tuesday, 18th February, at the Presidency. This move highlights his commitment to transparency and accountability, key principles that defines his leadership. The announcement was made by Joyce Bauer Mokhtari, the senior presidential advisor and special aide to President Mahama. In a Facebook post, she stated the president submitted his assets declaration form to the Auditor General at the Presidency. This communicates his commitment to transparency and accountability as a key component of his presidency. President Mahama's asset declaration aligns with Ghana's constitutional requirement for public officials to disclose their financial status. The process is a critical measure in promoting good governance and ensuring that leaders uphold ethical standards in public service. The president's action serves as an example for other public officials to follow. In business, President Mahama has named Dr. Abiba Zakaria as the acting commissioner of the National Insurance Commission, NIC. The seasoned insurer would oversee Ghana's insurance regulatory framework. Dr. Zakaria officially assumed office February 17th following her appointment last week. She succeeds Michael Ando, who had been serving in an acting capacity since April 2023. Sources familiar with the new appointment have told City Newsroom. With over 20 years of experience in the insurance sector, Dr. Zakaria has held key leadership roles, including her tenure as Group Chief Operating Officer of Waika Reinsurance Corporation, a reinsurance company owned by members of the West Africa Insurance Companies Association. She resigned from the role in 2024. She's also the founder and managing director of Strategist Consortium, a management consulting firm. Dr. Zakaria is a chartered insurer and a fellow of the Chartered Insurance Institute UK and the Institute of Risk Management Professionals of Ghana. Now, moving to some sports this morning, bankroller for Elmina Sharks, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum, has been charged by the Ghana Football Association for alleged breaches of the Division 1 League regulations and the GFA disciplinary code following a controversial incident during a league match between Elmina Sharks and Swedro All Blacks. The game, held at the Dr. Indum Sports Complex, was marked by controversies after Dr. Indum allegedly entered the inner perimeter and field of play without authorization to protest a penalty decision. His actions are said to have disrupted the match proceedings. Additionally, the GFA accused Dr. Indum of inciting Elmina Sharks players officials and funds against the match officials. He also allegedly used social media to further escalate tension, encouraging fans and club officials to act against the referees. According to the GFA, these actions led to violence against the match officials, an offense classified as misconduct that brings the game into disrepute. As a result, Dr. Indum has been given until Wednesday, February 19, 2025 to officially respond to the charges. The football fraternity now awaits his responses as the GFA takes regulatory action to uphold discipline and fairness in the league. Straight to showbiz, Ghanaian producer and musician Skonti has opened up about his decision to put his music career on hold to manage fellow artist Kokesi. In a conversation with Doreen Avio on Daybreak Hit, Skonti revealed that he made the decision without even discussing it with Kokesi. So I decided, let's do this. I didn't even tell him I am putting my career on hold. I just realized I had to put my career on hold and do it, he said. As a producer, Skonti believes that his stronghold is in producing music. Every producer can do a little bit of music if they want to put their mind to it, he stated. Skonti has been managing Kokesi for about 3 years now and has learned a lot from the experience. Despite putting his music career on hold, Skonti claims that his fans have missed him and have been asking him to release new music. Skonti has been producing music for Kokesi, including the hit song Awoyo Sofo, which was one of the biggest songs trending in Ghana last year. In the meantime, Skonti has released an album titled Woyo Dos, which means win or you are out. The 7-track album, which features Kojo Batman and Kofi Mole, as well as other Ghanaian artists, is out. And that's it with the Daybreak News on Ghana Talks Radio. Log on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more of these stories and follow us, Ghana Talks Radio, on all social media platforms. The news was read by Awentemi Akan Sukumasi. Thanks so much for making time. Good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast? English breakfast. French fry.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto. Wachi.
Well, Gobe is the real deal. Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sport, and all trending stories live on our mobile app, and also follow us on our socials at Ghana Talks Radio.
From Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with me, Pakwesi Obare,
Deborah Adolso,
Regina Bliss,
and I am Esimon. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is another beautiful day as I come your way with the most interesting, educative, and inspiring morning show. Welcome to your morning companion, the Ghana Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is where we give you all the major news, all the gists, and all that you've been missing as you went to sleep. In here in the studios with me is a fine gentleman, a fine guest who is going to help us with the discussions this morning, and also my favorite co-host, AC Nam. Always looking beautiful and dashing. Now you can join the conversation on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok at Ghana Talks Radio. You can also follow through on our website www.GhanaTalksRadio, and you can join us on WhatsApp 0202544614. Leave your comments, views and suggestions also there, and we will get interactive with you. Ghana Talks Radio, where Ghana talks, where Ghana listens. It's only this platform that we give the youth a voice to also make their views known onto the public. Good morning once again. Issy, good morning.
Good morning, Omari. How are you doing?
I am doing dashing.
Wow.
I'm doing gentle.
I guess you slept well, or you went somewhere yesterday.
I went for all night.
Are you sure?
I prayed to God.
Amen.
To give you a good heart this morning.
Thank you for praying for me.
Yes, and in the studios with me is Mr. Martin Kofi Hotipo. Did I get the name right?
You didn't, but I was fair. The name is Martin Kofi Hupoti.
Hupoti.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hupoti. Why wow? Have you ever heard the name Hupoti somewhere?
Yeah, I think I have. Back in school.
Yeah. That guy that was
no.
Yes, so we are getting into the conversations this morning. As I said earlier, you can join through on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, also on WhatsApp 0202544614. Now there are some discussions that we are going to have. One of the most worrying subjects that the country has been facing for quite some time has been the discussion surrounding the DDEP.
Yeah.
The domestic debts exchange program, and I mean it became one of the decision making in our previous or latest or recent elections that we held on December 7, 2024, and something good has emerged out of the DDEP discussions that the entire nation has been having. And this morning we are going to get into that, as we are fortunate enough to have a gentle, fine political analyst in the studios. Once again, you are welcome to Ghana Talks Radio, Mr. Matt.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah. How have you been?
Been good.
Charlie.
We're coping one day at a time.
One day at a time. Charlie, but Martin is he's a hard man to find, Charlie. Yesterday I had to Google him. Better go Martin. You see, sometimes you need that fine brains to get you into the topics that needs that in-depth discussion, in-depth dissection on it. Mr. Hupoti, I want to get the name right.
You're right.
Mr. Hupoti. Yesterday there was a statement released that the president has directed finance ministry to pay the subjects of the DDEP affected. Affected is too huge, because I know some people will come from my head, but in fact they were affected by some issues around the DDEP, because their monies were getting some haircuts and all that. First of all, I want you to tell us what the DDEP itself means. If domestic debt exchange program, what does it mean?
Okay, I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's a debt exchange program. One thing you should know is that as government of Ghana, they have debt to settle, and this debt we have two types: internal and external.
Okay.
So what we are discussing now is the internal.
Okay.
The external has to do with IMF, World Bank, and other grants and loans we receive from foreign aids. Now, Ghana gets its money through several means. One is through taxes.
Okay.
But we all know that in this country, our tax regime is not too great like the foreign ones. Why am I saying so? We have so many people in the informal sector than we have in the formal sector. For instance, I'm working as a pharmacist.
Yeah.
The government can easily tax me because I receive my salary. Perhaps if I'm from a private entity, my company will pay my taxes, tier 1, tier 2 and all that before I get my net salary. It makes it easier for the government to get its money. But then if I'm a business owner, let's say I sell phone accessories, it's quite difficult, especially the ones who are not even stationed. Most of these Nigerian guys that work with it. How can you tax such a person? And it will shock you to know that perhaps they make good money from that. Okay, so yes, taxes is one of the means we get money as a government, but then, like I said, we don't meet the revenue target all the time.
Okay.
And so there are other means. Now, as Ghanaians, there are some of us who, after saving our money, we would want to invest them.
Okay.
But in the past, people do have issues with investing in some private firms.
Okay.
They feel like they may not be able to recover their principals and even their interest.
Okay.
Growing up, I was told one thing, that if you want to do an investment, the safest is government bonds and treasury bills.
Okay.
Growing up, that's the notion, or that was what we were told.
Okay.
What happened to be true then? Hardly will you make an investment.
It happened to be true.
It happened to be.
It's no more a true factor.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, because even with the issue of the DDP, EP tells us that it's no longer true.
Wow.
I'll come to that.
Okay.
So, like I was saying, we all knew that it's one of the safest, investment schemes, because you get your principal and your interest at the stipulated time. Now, somewhere 2022, our economic issues in this country became very, very difficult. In fact, it got to a time we were not able to service our debt externally.
Wow.
And so the government of Ghana was blocked from accessing certain facilities externally.
Okay.
And our only bailout was the IMF. Our only bail, even with the IMF, it has to take certain diplomacy. I remember the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, speaking to certain envoys and ambassadors and even president. I remember he spoke to the Chinese president that he should put in a word for Ghana for them to be able to access the IMF loan facility.
Before we move on, Martin, the IMF has become some sort of a savior to some countries. But let's say Ghana, it has become. Yet still, whenever we approach IMF for a bailout, we get criticized as a country. Why is that? Is it that the IMF have some sort of hidden agenda behind bailing us out of whatever we...
There is a saying that to whom much is given, much is expected. Look, successive governments have accessed this IMF facility over and over again. Why are they complaining? The reason why we came for the money, are we doing it? Are we discharging those duties? No.
Okay.
It's like I come to you to borrow money. I tell you that I'm using the money to pay my fees or pay rent, and it happens that anytime I come to you to borrow the money, I don't use it for that. Would you feel entitled to give it to me the next time?
No, I won't.
Good. So away from that, so it became difficult.
All right.
And so it had to have an effect on people who had invested their monies into the bonds.
because
the government
was able to
service our debts.
Okay.
Do you understand? And so I remember when the issue came up initially, the president said categorically there was not going to be haircuts, but people in the finance sector knew what was happening.
Yeah, I remember the newly appointed finance minister making a comment whilst he was in opposition then. Something like that was going
exactly. So people had to go through haircuts. Now,
haircut. What is haircut?
So haircut basically means that, for instance, if you invested 10,000 Ghana cedis and you were supposed to get 15,000 cedis as returns, you will not get the whole thing. In fact, in some instances, the haircut will even touch your principal, which is the 10,000 you invested.
Wow.
And that's serious.
Very, very serious.
It's very serious because...
And all this comes to bear because the country is not able to service its debts.
Yes.
They are not able to service their debts externally. And don't forget that even internally, government borrows from other banks in this country. And so the only option for them is where they have authority, which is the bonds. But even with that, how it was done was wrong. There was no proper engagement with these people. Look, I think if they had engaged them earlier, now look, this is where we find ourselves. In fact, we are in a ditch. We are all Ghanaians. Can we please do something about our debt exchange program? Let's come to an agreement that, let's say if you're supposed to receive 15,000 Ghana cedis, due to the difficulties we find ourselves in, let's do it 12,000. I'm sure people will understand. But they didn't engage. And that, if you notice, that's why they kept demonstrating at the Ministry of Finance. And the sad part is that majority of these people who make the investment are the pensioners. People who are on chronic ailments like hypertension and diabetes needed their money to pay for drugs and their treatment. In fact, a former Chief Justice of this country, Sophia Akufo, was part of those who were picketing at the Finance Ministry. One would say,
was locked up.
Yes. One would say, she's a former Chief Justice. She has all the money. But then, I remember she said that this fight is not even for her only, but for the other people. So it was wrong. Do you understand? It was wrong. And I will tell you, it played a major part in the defeat of the SWAL MPP government because they have families to feed, and these people will be affected by it. And so people were angered. So what did they do? They agreed that they were going to pay the money in bets, but you don't get your full amount. So there was the first.
Even in bets, you still don't get.
No, you still don't get.
So the haircut is still working.
It's still working. It's still working. So there was the first coupon that was paid, there was the second, and there was the third. What we saw, the communique we saw yesterday was for the fourth coupon.
Yes. That is still in bits.
In bits.
So the haircut is still working even under this government.
Of course, because government is a continuum. In fact, as we speak, the NDC government is working with their budget that was prepared by the NPP.
By the NPP.
The government of the day will present their budget on the 11th of March. Do you understand? So even though they are in power, they are working with what they have. Do you understand? Even if when NDC reads their budget, it will take them for like a year to be able to stand on their grounds to do what they wish, because
on their budget.
Yes, because as we speak, we are constrained, financially constrained as a country. It is in that light that you see the president saying he's cutting costs by reducing ministers to 60 and all that. Yes, you understand.
Even changing the independence celebrations.
Good. You see, so all these things are to cushion us. And he was out of the country recently to even talk about these IMF if we assess the facility immediately. And he mentioned that, look, we should rather focus on physical stability before we think about going to assess the loan. In fact, IMF have come to say that we can only get $250 million this year if we are even to go to the IMF.
$250
million. That's a peanut.
Yeah.
I mean, people were ready to build the National Cathedral at
over 500 million.
good.
So 250.
So what is $250 million? So it tells you that we are in a tight space as Ghanaians, and as a result, we just have to lower our expectations. What pays? Look, Ghanaians are very understanding people. The reason Ghanaians were pissed with that. You are telling we the citizens to cushion ourselves, and you the politicians are living extravagant life. It doesn't work out. So basically, that's all about the DDP.
Wow. Now, some concerns, especially regarding this DDP, was how people felt it affected our economical stability, based on the fact that investors lost confidence in government. How was that?
Look, it's simple. You know, for me, when things happen nationally, I want it to relate into real life experience.
Okay.
Break it down as in on a personal note. For instance, I own an investment firm. I come to you, and I come to my dear sister. What's the name again? Esinam. I'm Elon, by the way. So I come to Esinam and tell her that, look, I have this firm. I would sort of convince you to join an investment that would give you some reasonable returns and all that. And she signs up. And even on the first instance that she signs up, she doesn't get her returns. And even her principal was touched. Do you think if I go back to her, she will have the confidence to come and invest? Look, these investors, they are business people. And nobody goes into a business to lose. Do you understand? Even if they are not making any huge profit, there should be a profit. It shouldn't be a loss. And I tell you, I read a report from City Business News. Look, I was told so many investors had lost trust. So many. Because when a country is not really stable economically, it's like a gamble. You go and invest, and you are thinking if this will work out. And these people are accomplished businessmen and women. And so the amount of money they would invest are too much for them to take that risks. So I don't think I would even blame them. It makes sense, like I've just explained. Nobody would like to make an investment when he or she is not sure about the returns. And that is what we're going through.
Martin, what do you think, or per your observation, was some of the implications of this whole issue surrounding the domestic debt exchange program on citizens and on our economy by large?
It's a lot. Because, look, investment is such that people act based on what people who are part of the investment benefit. If I invested and I got my returns, and I come and show you receipt of my payment, won't it attract you and Esinam to also join?
Most definitely.
Exactly. So in a situation whereby people invested and they didn't get their returns, and they have to pick it at the finance ministry, we all saw it on television. We just that alone, I'm sure there were people who were planning to invest the following year, sort of, or in a few months, but by seeing that act alone, they were taken aback and decided not to invest because they do not have the surety of their funds. And even aside that, look, the people who lost their investment, they have families, so they have children, they have siblings, they have wives, they have husbands. These are dependent. Do you understand? These are independent. So the fact that you are not paying somebody's coupon should tell you that it's not going to affect the individual alone. It affects a whole chain of people who are depending on such person. So in a nutshell, it affected people who were not even directly involved. Because listening to them, some tell you they wanted to pay their fees of their kids and all that. All these things are implications that do not equal well with the government, and that is how come they lost in the elections in that manner. You get it? So I mean, issues of debt exchange had a lot of effect. And the other one was on the foreign investor community. Those people, they will behave. I had this conversation with El Lebanese, and he says, look, he knows what happens in the country more than me, the Ghanaian. Because he is a foreigner, so he has to put his ears on the ground. And so a foreigner will not see such a thing and will want to be sort of
involved in any investments in the country. No. And aside the DDP, there were so many things that were affecting them. Taxes. Look, I managed to clear a vehicle for my friend some time back, somewhere in 2023, and I look at the taxes. Look, the amount for the taxes were close to 80% of the amount of the vehicle. So there are so many things that were affecting people. So the DDP came to make things worse, and that was where people said, look, we've had enough. That is where people had enough of the government back then in the day. You are still with us on Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, where Ghana talks, where Ghana lessons. In the studios with me still is Martin Kofi Popoti and my beautiful AC Nam, co-hosting and anchoring the show. Now, Martin, on to our next topic is the President John Dramani Mahama. But wait, someone has given you a shout out here that he always listens to you on X and he likes your submissions that you just made. So,
okay.
He said he was with you in, is it BHEC or something?
Yeah, Bishop Emanda to my senior high school.
You were the president.
Senior prefect. I was the school prefect.
Wow. He's giving you a shout out here.
Sure.
Yeah, shout out. I mean, Martin has been in leadership for
since basic school.
Wow, that's great. Martin, before we get into the next topic, what do you think moving forward as a country, as government, they should be looking at restructuring in terms of all these bonds and bond holding matters, which led us to this DDP haircutting and all that, affecting citizens and the economy?
It's just one thing: be honest with the citizens.
Be honest.
Be honest. Do not rob Peter to pay Paul, and do not preach A and do B. Practice what you preach, because you tell us as a government that we are in an economic turmoil, and so we should kindly cushion ourselves. Okay, Esinam agrees to cushion herself by giving away some of her interest and even sometimes principal, only for her to see the same finance minister who tells Esinam to cushion herself flying in a private jet. How would she feel? Like, let's be honest.
So if we are being honest to ourselves as citizens, I mean,
and we should also engage, because like I intimated earlier, there was no engagement before these things happened. Look, if they are even engaged, then backdoor, maybe this wouldn't even have been a news, because you've had a stakeholder engagement with them, and they've come to an agreement that okay, we are in a community distress. Let's try and help our country.
What do you think will help us not get into such a ditch again as a country? What should the government do?
One, they shouldn't overborrow.
Okay.
Because what led to this was overborrowing.
But what do you mean by overborrowing?
Look, I don't have the exact figures. I'll pull it up. As at last year, before the SWA government exited office, the debt from 2017 when they came to power till 2024 they left was more than from Kwame Nkrumah's time to Mahama 2016 combined.
Wow.
Someone will say, oh, every government borrows fund. What is there to show for the borrowing? As we speak, most of our roads are in a deplorable state. Look, I traveled to Hawaii last year 7 times just because I was assisting one of the chiefs there to establish a pharmacy. Look, it was so terrible. The first time I went, I used the vehicle because I didn't know the nature of the road. The vehicle broke down. In my subsequent trips, I decided to use a public transport. Anytime I get there, I have severe sharp waist pains. Because the roads are in a deplorable state. The roads are in shambles. So if you want to borrow to build roads and we can't see the roads, what's the need for borrowing?
So government should do away with borrowing.
No government. We are a developing country. We are not a developed country. So we can't do away with borrowing.
But over borrowing.
Over borrowing. And when we borrow, we should use the funds for the right thing. We are in this country. I don't know if you are aware. Anytime the country borrows, the former finance minister's bank, Data Bank, gets a percentage. How? As transaction advisors.
He's receiving
transaction advisors.
Yes.
You don't want him to eat from his establishment.
You know, funny enough, that is why he said he's not going to take a salary as a finance minister. Because tell me why you would not take a salary. Tell me.
He's making more profit as well.
Exactly. But it shouldn't be so. Look, we're in this country. We have a state insurance company, but we have private vehicles insured by Enterprise, which is a private entity owned by Ken Oforiatta. Why should it be so? So it tells you that we've been shortchanging this country for far too long. So it's not about the borrowing, it's about you taking the money to do the right things. That's all. Because these monies you will pay. Mind you, we go for these monies in dollars. But when we are going to pay, we pay in dollars too. So we have to take our money from CDs, change it to dollars. That's a lot of money.
So whenever the dollar is on a hike, it's going to affect.
Good.
Wow. So that means we also need to look at stabilizing our currency as well for it to not shoot up, not shoot down against the dollar.
Yeah.
A whole lot needs to be done. Do you have that much trust in this government to be able to condition some of these things into priority?
For me, politicians are politicians. But one thing is obvious. This government has a lot of goodwill. And so the advice I would give to them is to leverage on the goodwill Ghanaians have for them. Because if you have goodwill, Ghanaians will support you in whatever thing you are doing. You understand? And so learn from the mistakes of the ex-war government. Do you understand? Learn from. We were in this country and the government was telling us that if you have dollars at your home, you should go and change it to see this. Meanwhile, the government appointees had $1 million in their bedrooms. If you have 85 ministers, assuming all of them have $1 million in their bedroom, that's $85 million. Do you know what that does to the Ghanaian CD?
Wow.
So you see, like I keep saying, practice what you preach. Because you cannot be doing that.
Now, Mark, before we leave this DDEP issue, there's been some uproar about the new government's issuing payment of the fourth coupon. I mean, from your submission, we've learned that the previous government had already made 3 payments. Why is the 4th payment so much of a big deal? To the people?
So this is the issue. First of all, I must repeat again. This government has a lot of goodwill. So everything that they do is a big deal. Let me give you an example. Yesterday, Mama said he submitted his assets to the Auditor General. This is not something new. This is something I think President Akufo-Addo has done before. But then, no one cares. because he's lost the goodwill. But I see President Mahama did it and added a directive to his appointees that if they don't do it by 31st March, he will revoke the appointment. So that gives the good sort of, well, why are people happy? Look, despite they receiving their first 3 coupons, there were people who felt like with this change of government, they'll be like, well, we didn't cause the mess. We are not the ones who arranged this DDEP or whatever. So that we can choose not to pay. There are people who had that perception.
Okay.
That once there is a change of government, the chances of they getting their funds will be very difficult. So getting that money even earlier than that, because I understand they were supposed to get it much more later. So they got it much more earlier. So it brought some. It's just like we are here. You are not expecting any money. I just wire you 10K. You know that kind of euphoria. So that's how come.
Wire it right now. Let me see if I'll get that. This is GhanaTalks Radio. You are listening to us on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. You can join the conversation on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, X, and on TikTok. Let's see. Wire me something. Let me see how I will feel right now. Now, to the mention of the president declaring his assets, which actually leads us to our next topic. How does that, boost confidence? Because from the relation of him doing this is based on fighting corruption. So he's declaring his and issuing his appointees to declare theirs with a timeline. This is based on the fact that they think politicians normally come in service to enrich themselves. Someone will come as a tenant and will leave as a landlord. So
a householder.
How does this actually fight corruption?
Well, there's one thing that I say. Sometimes it's not necessarily about indeed fighting the corruption, but let people see that you are indeed doing something to fight it. Look, asset declaration has been in our constitution for far so long, but then political appointees do not adhere to it. In fact, do you know, even what we are celebrating, that the president has declared this asset, it's wrong.
It's wrong.
You are supposed to declare your asset before you take up the position. So those ministers who have been sworn in and whatsoever were supposed to declare their assets before they took up the position, not after they've been vetted and sworn in.
So it's supposed to be the
other way around.
So what's the celebration about?
You see, sometimes I don't blame people. Like I said, it's still the goodwill.
The goodwill. But then, what is the effect it is actually going to have on us as a country? It's
a way of curbing corruption, in a sense that if before I took up a position, let's say as a health minister, I said I have 3-bedroom house located at Trasako. I have 2 vehicles, 1 Benz and 1 V8. I have established 2 pharmacies. And I have this business A and C. I've made it known that this is what I own. Before I took up the office. So when I become a minister, and it happens that all of a sudden I've built 10 more mansions within 4 years, it raises a question, because if I'm 40 years old and the whole 40 years of my life I could not build these 10 mansions, just 4 years as a minister, I've built 10 mansions.
Well, maybe you were building yourself through those 40 years to gather money so that after the 40 years, in the next 4 years, you build some other.
That is not true. let's be honest with ourselves. We are all in this country. So you see what I'm trying to talk about? You understand? You see what we are trying to talk about? Because if S&M owns just a Toyota Camry, or let me say a Vitz, and S&M is appointed deputy minister for tourism, And I know Esinam. I know her father's house. I know. Look, she's my childhood friend.
Of course.
We meet in church, and Esinam is driving a Ford Raptor. Hey, within just a year of becoming a deputy minister, won't you has like how much is the salary of a deputy minister? Maximum 25k. If you save even for a year, you can't buy a Ford Raptor. So where did she get it from? So it tells you that she may have engaged in a corruption or a corruption-related activity.
Or a miracle.
It can never be a miracle. So asset declaration are important because it helps us ascertain if our politicians have acquired what they have through rightful means. So we get to know what they've acquired before they took up the office. So that when they acquire things that are very extravagant, we may be able to channel our corruption investigations and ask how they were able to have that.
Okay. Now, timelines given to appointees. So, what does that speak to us as a nation? The president declaring his and giving his appointees a timeline to do this. If you don't do it, you are out of office.
It tells us this is a president who means business. Look, we've been in this country where ministers and appointees of the president were not listening, or we're not listening to just the directive of the president or even we the citizens. And so if you have a president who is ready to crack the whip on his appointees, it's a good sign. Look, I think some days ago, a week ago, I heard CLOSAG was against the appointment of a birth and death registrar, and they wanted to go on a strike and all that. The president revoked that appointment. He rescinded his decision. I mean, as a president, you have to be a listening president. We in this country, things were going wrong. Look, this country, things has happened. When this country, members of the government wanted the finance minister gone, the president didn't listen. His own members. How much more we?
But then, we president listening. Won't it become some form of, because if everything we demand is what he is supposed to do, is that what the leader is supposed to do?
The president doesn't take a decision alone. He has advisors, presidential advisors. He has council of state. He has cabinets. He engages all these people before they come up with a decision. Of course, he has the decision to take the final say. But then, as a leader, you should have a listening ear. You can't do it all alone. You need the assistance of others. So as a leader, you must be consultative and consult from others. So I'm sure that's exactly what the president has been doing, and he must be doing. Mind you, this is not exactly what President Mahama was doing in his first tenure. And he has learned his mistakes.
So what do you think has changed now?
He has learned his mistakes, because he lost by 1 million votes in 2016. And the government that overthrew him lost by close to 1.7 million votes, unprecedented, with just 88 seats in parliament. It has never happened. They say when your friend's beer is burning, you go and get water. Because look, you have to learn from the mistake of others. That is how life is supposed to be. You must learn from the mistakes of others. Sounds good.
Well, do you think President Mahama truly have the willpower to terminate the contracts or the appointments
of the ministers?
If they actually fail to comply with his directive before March 31st?
Absolutely. The constitution gives him that power.
But he has already sworn them in.
It doesn't matter. Look, let me tell you. There was this story I was told by a politician that during transition people are lobbying for ministerial positions. So he went to lobby and he got information that he's going to be a Minister A, you know. Or he went to tell his family and friends. They were just, chilling, having a drink.
Anticipation.
Just that evening, he got a call from the president that something has come up and that he has to rescind that decision and give the position to someone else. The president can hire you today and take you off tomorrow. He has that power. It's not like members of parliament. Members of parliament that have that immunity for 4 years. We decide if they go or not. An MP cannot be removed unless he dies or there is another election. But executive, it's not like that. The ministers are the representatives of the president in the ministries.
But yes, I understand that the constitution gives him that much power, which has even become a more questionable something in it, because I think there's so much executive powers exerted on a president. As you say, he can hire you today and fire you tomorrow. He has that power. It doesn't matter whether you are doing good or bad. For instance, in the instance where this Closac issue came, that we don't want this person and he changed his mind. We've also seen instances where there were some people during the campaign, after the election, they had this show, and Stonebwoy was built to perform. And the people were like, we don't want Stonebwoy. And the presidency or the NDC, they refused to bring Stonebwoy on board again. Afterwards, there have been some people that they think, oh, this person, we don't want him here. Then they change their decision. This person, this and that. Is it not becoming some form of him serving his party folks, especially the grassroots, who always come up with, we don't want this, we don't want that? Is it really in the interest of the nation or of his people?
It's his people are also citizens.
We understand that.
You know, I think it's sideways, but primarily it's the citizens, because the citizens that put you there. Do you understand? Look, but
the citizens haven't put forth any communication that we don't want this person. It's always the grassroots of the NDC.
Of course, because they are members of the political party. Look, nobody becomes a president on the back of his own unless you go on as an independent candidate. Let me tell you one secret. And for me, I get to learn a lot from both sides of the political divide. I listened to Eugene Boachin entry, former MP for Subin. He tells me that, look, for you to become the president, it's the party that brought you to power. So even though you are the president and have the power, you should conform yourself to the rules of the party. He said that one of the mistakes the MPP did that made them lose the election in the way they did was because of this. It got to a time the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, was more powerful than the party, such that even
the president.
No, there should be division of labor, separation of powers. The party brought you to power. Yes, you are the president, but you should not be above the party. That's what took them to opposition. He gave an example that when you are going to be given an appointment as a minister, during the MPP, what they were doing was this. The president will just invite you that he's found you worthy to appoint you as a minister and all that. But with the NDC, no. The party leadership are there when the president calls you. So it tells you, the minister, that when you are going to assume this position, the interest should be that of the Ghanaians, but it should also be of the party too. Because without the party, you are not going to be a minister. I hope you get the point I'm driving at.
Yes, I'm trying to.
You have to.
But is that not you being biased?
No, you're not. Look, I don't like to be hypocritical.
Okay.
Let's be honest with ourselves. It is on the back of the party that you are in power.
Okay.
Look, do you know some of the grassroots members of the MPP were irritated? That is why they did not vote. I think we'll come to that. Why would you wait for the last month of your 8-year tenure to be employing grassroots people. That's why their appointments are being revoked.
Okay.
Yes, because you had 8 years to do that. Why would you wait till the last minute to be doing this? It's totally wrong. It is wrong. Do you understand? So yes, concerns of the members of the party should not be overlooked.
Okay.
Because it is the party that put you there.
Okay.
First of all, the party made you a presidential candidate. If you knew you had followers, why didn't you go as independent? You would lose.
Sure.
Because though it's not only the party that would give you vote for you to win, but the party is integral. When your base vote for you, you just need more of the vote, the floating voters to balance it for you to win power. So it's both sides. Okay. You wash my hands, I wash yours.
It is both sides. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. As put it by Martin Kofi Kopote. This is Ghana Talks Radio. You are still with us. Join the conversation. I really want to hear your views and read some comments of you from this discussion that we're having this morning on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio. At Ghana Talks Radio. You can also join us through our WhatsApp lines 0202-544-614 0202-544-614. Ghana Talks Radio, where Ghana talks, where Ghana listens. Now, to our next and final discussion, the OSP. Okay, let me say the OSP's office has made some charges against the former finance minister, and they're actually going after him. Like he needs to come and answer some questions. If he's found guilty, he needs to face some. What's the necessity of this? Because the man has been in power. Offerata only got out of his position.
I think in December 2023 or early 2024.
Early 2024.
Early 2024.
So let's say he had 7 good years in office. But most of the charges that I'm reading, they happened through those 7 years. When was the OSP's office inaugurated?
That should be in 2021. No, it was even before. Yes, with Martin Amidu. Yes, so it was before the 2020 elections.
It was right in
I think right into 2018 thereabout.
And you couldn't find issues with whatever he was doing then?
No, look, let's be fair to the OSP. He took up the job in 2021 as OSP. And in case investigations is not something you get up to do and finish right away. Mind you, the issues or the scandals with which he was charged, some of them didn't happen at that time. It happened later.
Okay.
Do you understand? Also, as a finance minister in government, look, there were people who even say that Kenneth Fureta was shadow president because he had a lot of power. Do you understand? Yes.
His power went overboard the finance ministry.
Of course.
How?
Look, this is the president's cousin we are talking about.
Yes,
and the finance minister.
Mohammed's cousin is Joyce Bauer, but I don't see Joyce Bauer.
No, we are all different, and we all have our way of, expressing ourselves. Do you understand? And so, you cannot equate them to be the same. But this is what I'm driving at. Better late than never. It's better the OSP investigates this issue late than not investigating it at all. So it doesn't even matter if didn't he do it earlier or whatsoever. That's not a topic for discussion. What we should be discussing is, are the charges true? If they are,
and I was going to get into that with you right now. Are they really true?
Well, with what I read, these are scandalous. Look, because as finance minister, he authorized payments. As finance minister, you should do due diligence before authorizing payments, because these are monies that belongs to the citizens. These are the taxes of the Ghanaians.
Yeah.
And so before you give authorization for an amount of money to be disbursed, you should do due diligence. In fact, as finance minister, there are times you ask for the advice of the Attorney General before you enter into certain contracts. Let's take the SML for instance.
Yeah.
They were rightly short-changing Ghanaians because a company, Strategic Mobilization Limited, SML, entered an agreement with the government of Ghana in relation to petroleum, downstream and upstream. And as such, the government was supposed to pay this company for the services they were running. But it happens that this company was picked for this role without PPA approval.
Okay.
You understand? You see, we have laws in this country, procurement laws.
Yeah.
Even if we want to do a sole sourcing, the company SML was established just some few months, then they took up this contract with no background of work done. If you are to pick me up for a job here, it is based on what I've done in my past. That you would give me the opportunity, because if I have zero experience in relation to radio, you cannot come and employ me as a radio host.
Sure.
If you want to do that, you have to take me through an internship program with time before you can pick me up. So why then do you do a single source sourcing for a company for a huge contract as this? You know the funny thing? In fact, I listened to Manasseh Azuri, and he tells me that the reason why they even did an investigation into this SML deal was because this company goes to the Daily Graphic and posts that they've saved Ghana $3 billion as a result of their work.
Wow.
And he as a journalist felt, oh, that's good, saving us this money. Do you know the IMF, it is $3 billion we went for? So if you are saving us this money, then it's good for us to go and find out more. So that is what led to the investigation, and you notice that no, things are not really true. And so he had to investigate, and he noticed that no, this country was such. Look, the ex-president Akufo-Addo is not a listening president. So for him to agree to order KPMG to do an audit report on the SML deal, you should know that was a filthy deal.
Wow.
It was a big deal because we all know the president doesn't listen, the ex-president doesn't listen, Akufo-Addo. So for him to agree to order KPMG to do an audit of that deal, you should know that it was a big deal.
Well, I'm not going to say that what to expect from this government in relation to this issue, because the OSP's office has been known to be an independent body in its own. So what are you expecting from the OSP's office in regards to Keneforiata's allegations?
Look, if there are evidence of misappropriation of funds, he should recover it. Look, if let me ask,
it should just be recovered and
no, of course, if there are evidence of criminal activities, of course you'll be prosecuted. But my point is, look, I've not been really a fan of the office of the special prosecutor. Why? Because I believe we have equally good institutions that are already in existence that could have done that.
So what if they thought maybe these institutions might, because most of these institutions are being headed by government appointees. So people felt like, okay, if this party came to power and appointed me to head this institution, I'm definitely going to be biased in relation to, charging them with some other issues when it comes to corruption.
Initially, when the office of the special prosecutor was set up, Martin Amidu Benz Kaiser was the one who was appointed. You know his relation with the NDC. people had this impression that he was appointed to sort of, fish out NDC appointees and stress them. It happened that it didn't work as that. In fact, in his resignation, he described the former president, Akufo-Addo, as a mother serpent of corruption. You understand? And so I don't think the reason for the setting up of the office has been achieved. Let me tell you what, with the Cecilia Dapa matter, it was one of the issues that we could have used as a test case to rather say that indeed we needed the office of the special prosecutor. But OSP came to render a press conference, and it was, in fact, that day he was wallowing in self-pity.
But then,
saying I'm Kwanuma and whatever, because his hands were tied. They were not given the opportunity to work.
So what really makes the OSP's office independent?
Oh, yeah, in this country, you know what goes on. Look, I am telling you that, you see, that is why I agree with the amendment of the Constitution in the sense that if a president appoints you to a position, yes, you might be independent, but your loyalty goes to him. Because if it wasn't him, and he has the right to terminate your appointment through due processes. Just that I think the OSP has immunity. He has 7 years tenure. But look, I feel like he's withdrawing the Cecilia Dapa issue and referred it to EACO. Give me the impression that, look, this office is not necessary.
It's not necessary.
But with Ken Ofori-Atta, look, this man has caused a lot of people hardship. Last time I heard Afino Makin saying that the finance minister is traumatized. Do you know the kind of trauma he put people through in this country? Like, let's be real. Do you know the kind of trauma he put people through? Look, I'm pleading, we should allow due processes to work. Yesterday I read that he's not a wanted person anymore because he had given them a date he'll be in. Fair enough, he should come May, and due processes should be allowed. If we notice he's innocent, he's let go. As of now, he's a suspect. But if investigations go through and prosecution goes through and he is indeed a culprit in this act, he must face the law.
He must face the law. No matter. Before we end our conversation this morning, which has been very educative and interactive as well, what do you think we should do as a country to, first of all, make sure such scandalous acts don't even get into operation, for us to get an OSP's office to go interrogate and all that?
First, I think there must be a constitutional amendment, and I'm happy the president has set up a committee headed by Professor H. Prampre to look at the constitutional reforms of the country. Look, it's very important in a sense that the constitution gives the president so much power. So much power. Look, and last time I looked at this number of state institutions in this country, and it's so shocking. And all these institutions are supposed to have chief executives appointed by the president. Aside the reforms in relation to our constitution, the other thing we can do is this. Look, there should be a code of conduct for political appointees. Because I feel like there's nothing binding on these appointees. They feel like they were appointed by the president, in the same political party, and so there are no stringent measures for them to be looked at when they go for short of anything. So they have the liberty to do things. But if they know very well that, look, if you don't discharge your duties well, you'll be shown the exit door, and not that you'll be prosecuted. Most of them feel like they have that immunity, so they are connected to the president who has the authority. Because look, we all know the institution of state like the police has that independence. But look, this Inspector General of Police was appointed by the president. Are you telling me that if the president calls the IGP to discontinue a case, or the Attorney General, good, and the Attorney General files a nolle prosequa, the case will go through? No. So Look, it all boils down on the powers of the president. So we need a constitutional reform. Very, very important, and a code of conduct.
Okay, so before we go, sorry to cut you, we have some comments on YouTube. This is from Prince Vital. He said, this guy is really making sense. From him again, he said, from D. And this is from Kelvin. He said, the guy in white speaks with confidence. I appreciate your insights, bro. Speak out to Patrick. Shout out to Patrick and Half God. And then speaking with R. And then from Kelvin again, the guy is too good.
Thank you for your kind words.
Is too good, and we are feeling good in the studios for all the insights and education you've given us this morning, Mr. Martin Kofi Porte. This is where we end the first segment of the breakfast show. Moving on, we will be talking to the president of the Chill Chat Zone and his team regarding the fun party they are organizing somewhere in March for singles like me, because people like Esinam can't be there. He's going to unravel all the dots and T's of the party if I should go for a loan to be part of the yes, indeed. This is Ghana Talks Radio on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is where Ghana Talks. We will be back very soon with the team of the Chill Chat Zone for the second segment of the show. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast? English breakfast. French fry.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto. Wachi.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sport, and all trending stories live on our mobile app, and also follow us on our socials at Ghana Talks Radio.
From Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with me, Pakwesi Obare,
Deborah Adolso,
Regina Bliss,
and I am Esinom. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
Welcome once again to Ghana Talks Breakfast Show on Ghana Talks Radio. We are back with the next segment of the conversation. See, there is a party being anticipated.
Okay.
Yeah, and the organization of the party's president is in here to talk to us about the party, because Ghana Talks Radio is a media supporter of this party.
Okay, that's nice. At least we get to release some stress.
The thing is, at least some people get to release some stress, because if you put it as we, let me tell you about it. It's for single people. You see,
But
you
I'm
are not
single. No, look at my hand. Please, just look at my. Do you see any ring?
When it comes to party, women go to ring.
Oh, please, don't be like that.
Hey, Issy.
Allow me to have fun. It's very necessary.
Issy, you are allowed.
It's good for my mental health.
So that was Martin Kofi Hupoti in us earlier on, having some social discussions, and I really enjoyed Martin's conversation. Yeah, we will be having him more often on the show to discuss some critical issues facing the country as a whole. Yesterday, the Council of States elections, which has been ended recently, had its elected members being sworn in by the president, and there's been a whole lot of conversations regarding especially in terms of their duty. I mean, what they are supposed to do and all that as a council of state. When we say someone's a councillor, what does it mean? Who is a council?
As in a councillor, or as in the context of is in the context of council of state members?
No,
as like in
in a broad context.
When we say someone is
a council.
So, in my own understanding, a councillor is someone who advises people on a particular topic or regarding a particular issue.
Okay.
So, they are more or less like advisors. They are more or less like advisors who give you their thoughts and then advise you on specific issues regarding a topic. Yeah. So that's it. That's how I understand.
That's how you understand being a counselor.
An advisor.
Yeah, an advisor.
Yeah, someone who will give you an insight, or per se the person has experience in that particular field and decides to give you an advice with regard to a particular situation or an issue you come up with.
Well, we will get into much more of that in our subsequent editions of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. You can still join us on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and on TikTok at Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Ghana Talks Radio. Yeah, sorry. And also on our website www.ghanatalksradio.com. www.ghanatalksradio.com. Our WhatsApp lines are also open to you. You can text us, you can call through, whichever way you want to do it, on 0202 544 614 0202 544 614. This is Ghana Talks Radio, where Ghana actually talks, where Ghana actually do listen. Now, the special prosecutor has come out again to say that the man is no more a wanted man.
Yes.
But I mean, it actually does make sense. Because the reason why they declared him a wanted man earlier on was the fact that he was nowhere to be found. I mean, they've sent him messages to report for some interrogations, but he
Right,
wasn't
yeah.
compliant with that. And now he himself has written to the special prosecutor that I will come.
Okay.
I am here doing this and that, but I will come
Mhm.
on this particular day.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it sounds right that the office of the OSP comes back
Yeah,
to.
I like for the fact that the OSP has come out to say that he's no longer wanted. But my problem is, why should he have waited that long,
Which of them?
Ken Oforiatta, for you, for his flyers? That flyer will never leave social media.
No, it won't.
It will never leave
No,
social
no, no,
media.
no, no.
So I think what he should have done earlier was to just, no, I'm not ready to one. Not necessarily saying I'm not ready, but
Yeah.
maybe you're not fit because we know you are sick.
Yeah.
So that is what his legal team should have done, rather than waiting for things to escalate or get out of hand before he comes
he comes
and
out.
say he will come in for questioning.
But people are actually saying that in regards to why he kept long and all that. People think that he actually had no intentions of coming. So if the OSP hadn't come out to, sanction those wanted tags on him, which has globally gone viral, he would never have taken this decision. So people are actually applauding the OSP for that step that he took. Yeah,
That one will be a taint to his reputation, to Ken Oforiatta's reputation.
but does he have any other reputation to maintain anymore? Well, I mean, he's no more in office, and I don't think he's
no
coming
more in
back into office.
but
So.
you see, I feel as if in every entity or any society you find yourself, you should protect your reputation. You should leave a positive feedback on, like a legacy, so that when you leave, people, that is what you'll be remembered for.
Yeah.
Right now, we will forever remember you as a fugitive.
Oh, really?
Because that was what you were
So
declared for.
the man was finance minister for 7 years.
Oh yes.
So you are saying he
And
has
I'll
no
even forget
good-
that he was a former. I remember he was once wanted, and you see that.
bad news travels fast.
You bab. So
For 7 good years,
7
he has
good
served
years.
this country. In fact, he never even took a salary for 7 years as a state minister.
you never took salary.
And now,
At least
all
you
that
be
you are
applauded for
remembering
that.
him for.
He was tagged as a fugitive and then declared wanted by the OSP. That is so heartbreaking. But
No, I thought the issue of Samson was the worst when it comes to women.
oh come on.
But Oforiatta's issue is telling me a whole. Oh, Delilah was a saint. See,
Oh yes, that is what I remember him for.
and let's put it on record. Essie says she is speaking for all women in the world. So if this is how women think, hey,
Oh yes, yes, and it happens in our everyday life. They will not
what
remem-
happens? In
No, they will not remember you for the good thing you have done. No. But immediately you do something bad, that is what they will remember you for.
Essie,
Yes, that is what they will remember you for.
that is not true.
Oh, that is very true. That is what they will remember you for.
See, okay, so this entirely shows why men are different from women.
Oh no, it's not necessarily why men are
It
different
is
from
because
women.
I am telling you that we remember the good about ourselves than
I'm
the
trying
bad.
to look for a quote to define this situation, but the quote is not coming.
Which situation?
The quote is not
So,
coming.
guys, if you are listening to us this morning, beware, fear women. See, in the 24 hours you spend in a day, use 23 hours to fear women.
Oh please.
The last 1 hour, use it to run away from women. And you live long. You will definitely live long. So yes, we are into the second edition of the Breakfast Show segment on GhanaTalks Radio this morning, where we are going to get into the chit chat of the Chit Chat Zone party coming on very soon. It promises to be entertaining and reconnecting. Let me put it that way, because Okay, I don't have much of the details. If I spoil all the details here, Essie will think that she has an invite to the show, but Essie is not invited.
Oh, please.
Even
I'm
if they
invited.
invite you,
I'm
this
already
morning,
invited.
I won't-
And once the president is here, I have a free ticket already, please.
Essie, you are not invited, please.
I am.
You
And I'm
are
even
not
coming with a
invited.
+1.
Hey.
Yes.
You're welcome once again on Ghana Talks Radio. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, where we serve you all the major news every morning on your airwaves. In the studios with us, it's fortunate for us that the president and his team of the Chit Chat Zone party coming on next month are in the studios with us. I have Joe Fans and I have Nanaya Suspense. Good morning, sirs.
Good morning.
Yeah. How have you been?
Oh, we are doing great.
Actually, yay! You see, this man was supposed to speak to the man who was calling me madam.
Oh!
You hear the bass? We are doing great. Yeah. Yeah. We are truly humbled and honored to have you in our studios this morning for the conversation. How's the traffic? Charlie.
No need to
No need to
stress on
get
it.
into that.
Wasn't that bad?
Well, it depends on from my point where I was coming from. It was really bad.
Oh, okay.
And where are you coming from?
From Tishi.
Oh, okay.
So like the bush road.
Oh,
was
yeah.
very
wow,
bad.
Wow. I mean, and I'm very glad for you to come here because Tishi to here is quite.
It's quite a distance.
Yeah. Joe.
Yeah.
How far?
We there inside.
Charlie, the voice. Yes, so right into the conversation. The Chit Chat Zone. What is it about?
Okay, so I'll let Naya talk more about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's about bringing people who want to enhance their social lives. You know, people want to go out, but they don't have people, they don't have that energy to go out to meet new people. Even though they want to do it, they don't have that energy. So we decided to, okay, why not create something that is not really expensive to actually patronize, come meet new people, meet new faces, and just enhance your social life, like build on it.
Wow.
So you see the price is quite reasonable, like 66.
We'll get into the prices, but before then, what actually inspired this whole idea? Is it that you yourself, both of you have been lonely for some time, so you think that, oh, come on.
Okay, so the whole idea came about. It was Joe that brought the idea.
Okay.
So it started off like he wanted us to make.
So I'm coming. So last year they wanted to do a program for just the boys.
Okay.
Yeah, just a boys program.
Okay.
About mental health issue. Because normally when it comes to mental health, like guys don't really like complain about mental health and all those things. So
but do you think it's guys who don't like talking about it, or society has made it seem like a sin to even talk about mental health as a guy?
Let me put it this way, like I think it's not the society per se, but it's as a guy that will be like, oh, hard guy.
Yeah.
Even if like he's still going through even something that he would like to keep it to himself. Yeah. We don't really talk about it.
Hey, this thing,
so
they
I
make
didn't
a
say
cry something.
you
When I
okay,
got broken heart, hey, I won't cry, but I dey form hard. My challenge. You know it's you.
Yeah, so like men have been conditioned in a way to not express emotions because you are like the head of the house, and when the head is weak, like everything goes down. So we have to keep that composure and move along with it.
Okay. So Joe, back to what you were saying, that you wanted to organize something of the mental health, something for guys. What happened? Why did it come again?
Come again.
Why didn't that one? Or was it able to?
Oh yeah, like okay, so I decided to pause because then we get a sponsorship from 2 or 3 companies.
Oh, okay.
Then we're actually waiting for one particular company because the location wanted to organize the whole thing was like a bit expensive. Yeah, so then that particular company wanted to sponsor that location.
Wow.
So they were waiting for them to reach their yearly budget before they'll get back to us. Yeah, I think like so it's like back and forth, and which I want to do 1 or 2 things. So I decided to wait for them and do my own style for now. Okay. So as I'm talking to you right now, that boys mental health thing will still happen.
Okay.
It was because we have some hospital in board. We want to do free screening for the guys and all those things.
Wow.
Yes. So
that's nice.
then business talks. We have people going to talk about business and investments with the guys and all those things. So definitely it will happen. But we are doing this at the beach.
Okay.
For everyone.
For everyone.
For everyone.
For fun.
Yeah, for fun. For everyone.
Okay.
But still the Web Boys program will still happen.
Will still happen.
Yeah.
But that's going to be after this one.
Yes.
Is it like some, because I see that you planned something last year, boys, then this year something of a mix to get everyone involved. Is this like a team, a corporation, something, an organization that you guys come up with?
Yeah, so for the boys on, it was solely his idea, and he has his own company, so he's doing it under
the company.
Yeah, but with this chill chat zone, we have like 2 other partners who are not here. So we have Ifwa and Nana.
Okay.
So this is something that we just want to, host for people who want to enhance their social lives to come on board.
For people who want to enhance their social life to come on board. Charlie, if you're listening to us, the Chit Chat Zone is inviting you. Come on board if you want to enhance your bad dress you. So there's GhanaTalks Radio. We are still in the studios discussing the Chit Chat Zone. Now, where is this going to happen? Which beach exactly is it going to happen?
So we're having it at the next door beach.
Okay.
Yeah, which is after Laboma, like few meters away from Laboma.
The next door beach.
Next door beach.
And it's open for everyone who wants to be part.
Yes, everyone. So you just have to make payments. Like there's a form, so you fill it, you make payment. After you fill, you make the payment. Then we reach out to you. We'll send you the ticket. So when you are coming, there's you just show it at the entrance. Even though next door is like an open space that you can go anytime, but with this it comes with activities, and there will be food, there will be drinks.
Okay.
All from the 60 cedis that you are paying.
Wait. The requirements. What are the requirements if I want to join?
So if you just want to join, you pay 60 cedis. 60
cedis.
Yes, 60 cedis.
Do you want to say 600 cedis or?
No, 60 cedis.
No,
like
60 cedis.
60. Yes, 16.
For all this fun.
Yes.
What are the activities involved?
Okay, so we'll be having card games, board games, and like other indoor games, right? And it's just to socialize with people, and also this is not a profit event. Like we are not making anything out of it. We just want people to come and have fun. So you come, you pay your 60 cedis. You get food, you get drinks, you get water. Unlike maybe if we were hosting at a different beach, let's say Laboma, you have to pay entrance fee like 50 cedis before you. So definitely the price will shoot up. But with next door, you just come. Just come, pay the 60 cedis. You have access to the activities and food and drinks that will be given.
That is great. I mean, 60 cedis for all this fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, we've had instances where people go out and their security are being breached people getting attacked, people getting robbed, some even being harassed sexually, because this one, women are going to be part. What are the measures taken to grant safety for everyone who wants to be part of this?
Okay, so with this, the team came up with something like there are going to be protocols that you need to observe.
Okay.
So one, with what goes on social media, one, you would have to sign an arrangement with the team, like the organizers, that there are certain things or content that you can't take of people over there.
Wow.
Yeah, there are content that you can't take of people, and they have to be aware. Like you have to seek consent. People just come because of they just to chase clout. They take any form of thing without anyone's consent. So with that, you need to sign that, and if you breach it, definitely there will be consequences. And with security wise, next door isn't a place that it's kind of dangerous, but you always have to be careful. You always have to be careful. So what we are going to tell people is that they should be aware of their surroundings when they come. Their personal security should be their responsibility, one. And when they get there, we'll try as much as possible to also provide them with additional security.
Yeah, because with the additional security is what I want us to, because talking about safety and all that, I'm not even looking at people outside. I'm looking at the people, some of them who are going to come as party people. People use these avenues to. Not so long ago, we went for an unveiling of someone's position in a company. He was becoming the country director of the company. So and, people come, they have fun, all that stuff. And before we closed, we realized the managing director's bag was lost. It had her passport, everything in the laptop whatsoever. But the person we saw in the camera was someone who actually came as,
was part of the...
So in these instances, even amongst ourselves, people who are coming for the program, how insured are you to place some measures so that whoever comes as a bad nut won't have that opportunity to display
there? So the platform like this, when you sign up, you have your details, and when you the day of the program, make sure we provide every band to make sure that you are part of us. You understand? So with all these things, if anything happens, we can easily to track you all those things. Because we have your details and all those things.
That's great. When is this happening?
Next door, on first March.
First March.
Yeah, that's Saturday.
That's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. So are there any sponsorships or partnerships with other people?
For now, we don't have any sponsorship, but we are open to if anyone want to sponsor. You're okay. And it's like when you come, just come with a bottle. See.
About I just paid my
a bottle of drink.
A bottle of drink. And that's not it's not compulsory. No.
You can just come
because we've already put our measures in place and all those things. So you just come with a bottle. It's nice if you come with a bottle. But if you don't have, you're not pressuring to just bring it. But we're okay.
But for the 60 cities, it's compulsory.
It's compulsory for you.
Wow. Is it?
Yes.
Is it my purpose here? I mean, I have this girl I want to impress, but the places she wants us to go.
Bring all of them.
I didn't say girls, so I said girl.
It was just missing with one S. You can have the S.
I think this man is coming with so many girls. Like 4 girls.
Like friends.
And secondly, if you want to come with someone,
you
have to let us know that you're coming with someone.
Okay. Now, I was about to ask about that. If I want to come with someone, let's say I've paid $960 on the day of coming. I mean, I bring a tag along. Do I need to pay for the person as well?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we
the system is per head.
Per head. Because we are ensuring security. You can't bring someone that we can't identify. What if something happens? Like there's no way to track the person or anything. So we have to be aware. We pay for the person. We will input their details, and when they come, we give them a wristband. Yeah. So we have their contacts. Everyone who has filled the form, we have their contacts. We have their names. That we can track.
Earlier on, you mentioned that you are doing this under the auspices of Joe's company. Is it a company or a foundation?
Okay, so it's a foundation.
Talk to us about the foundation.
It's a foundation. Okay. Personally, I have a foundation called Fun Fast Foundation.
Fun Fast
Foundation. Okay. Yeah, because my business is Fun Fast Enterprise.
Okay.
Yes, and I have Fun Fast Foundation under it.
Okay. So so the business has a foundation under it. That's great. What business are you into?
All kind of business.
All kinds.
Yes, except illegal. I do everything.
Brief us about it. Maybe someone wants to get in touch with you on business factors.
For example, if on a TL, you seem like when it comes to furnitures, I sell furnitures.
Okay.
Yes. I deal in cars too.
Oh.
I have a company with a friend of mine called Awesome Dealership. It's on IG.
Dealership.
Yeah, we deal in cars, all luxury cars. We deal in all luxury cars. Yes, and side the one to we have other things going on, but yeah, you have other things going on. So like anything that brings money.
You are in for it.
I'm in for it. Yeah. Except illegal.
Except illegal.
Except
illegal. Emphasis on except illegal. Ghana for the we know you.
Oh yeah. Okay. Me, I've been on the street for a very long time. Yeah. So maybe in case do you want to do a business with you? I'll listen to you.
Wow.
And I listen to you because I've been on the street for a very long time. I listen to you and see that this kind of business is going to put him into trouble. Okay, no matter how much you offer me, no.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Because I'm always open.
Okay.
Yes, I'm always open. Because the kind of business I do, someone will just purchase something from me, maybe a month or 2 months later, call me, oh Joe, I purchased this from you, but I'm having an issue or something. You understand?
Yeah.
I need to make sure I have to sort it out for the person. Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
The good name is better than riches. So.
Good name is better than riches. That's what Joe Fan says on the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show this morning. Get in touch with us. Get interactive on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio. At Ghana Talks Radio on X, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. You can also join through our WhatsApp line 0202-544-614 544-614. Joe, tell us about your foundation now.
The Fun Fast.
The Fun Fast Foundation. Hey, Fun Fast Foundation.
Yeah.
By Joe Fans.
So, Fun Fast Foundation.
Yeah.
What you do is that, for example, I don't want to mention the funny name, but every year I try my best to solicit funds for one particular orphanage at Kwabinya.
Wow.
Yes.
With your foundation?
Under my foundation.
You did under your foundation?
Yes. So, it's an orphanage full of kids with HIVs.
Kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So every year, me, my team, and other boys, we try our best to do something for them, right? Yeah. So I'll take this platform's opportunity to tell everyone, even if you want to get in touch with them, I mean, you can, because it's so sad to see kids
with HIV.
Yes.
this is so sad. If you're listening to us and you want to get in touch to support what the Fun Fast Foundation is doing for these kids at the orphanage home in Kwabenya, please let us know so that we get you in touch with Joe, and then he links you to them for any support that. Yeah. But you as a media social influencer, because I see you on the timeline, you have influencer.
I'm not an influencer,
okay, but then you are very active on social media.
Yeah.
Would you say it has played a major role in all these activities that you do?
Yes, because normally all my sales I'll make all my sales on Twitter, or let me say X.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Make all my sales on Twitter, X, and through that too. I've met a lot of people. For example, I met this partner through X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I met him through X.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. What does the foundation seek to achieve? What's the goal of the Fun Fast Foundation? Yeah.
Okay. We say about in Sakwan and Saba. Me per se, if I want to do something, I don't look at the profits or the benefit I'm taking. No. Because to be honest, to say, I say a Nipa brother. You understand? Yeah. So it's like
it's just
you rise by lift. Yeah. So anything we just do. For example, the Body Boys program I wanted to do. I was contacted by 3 companies who wanted to do the whole, wanted to take the whole thing and do it, and they were looking at the
benefits, the
profits of it. Yes, not to them. No, I can't do that.
Sure.
Yes, I can't do that. So
shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. You did well, because I mean, people actually use this avenues to exploit people. We want to do this for you, just pay a little bit of this. So they are going to use it to solicit funds from some big people out there.
Even this this our
the chit chat zone.
Even someone wanted to just thinking of partner with us, then how he's going to
make us. It's free. It's free. The chit chat zone is free. It's free, I repeat. Oh no, 60 cities.
Yeah, but it's
it's still free.
I mean, because in Accra you can't without 150 cities. There's no even that you can go.
I mean, come on. My boss, he where he eats his breakfast 90 cities. So 60 cities will be. My boss, he get money. Oh, that's nice. So. But with the chit chat zone thing, has it ever happened before?
Okay, so this is actually the first time.
This is the first edition.
And this is the first edition. And it was supposed to happen last year, but it was going to commence with Joe's Boss Boys event.
Okay.
But because of the setbacks, we said it didn't happen. Then we had other people. So I think this is a concept that a lot of people have. People have, but how to implement it? Yes, that's the problem. Okay. Some also are thinking of the profit aspect. Because doing this, maybe you might get a profit, but you won't get returning people or customers. Because of the price involved, but this one we are making it way too affordable for everyone.
Very affordable. I mean,
everyone to come. Like you come, you get food, you get drinks.
You get food and drink.
You get food
out of 60 cities.
Out of 60 cities.
Like that is the rate. 60 cities.
Yeah, 60 cities.
It's 60 and.
If you can give more, that's fine. Okay. That will be able to cater for a lot of people.
But it shouldn't be less than 60.
No, it shouldn't be less than
60 and above.
60 and above. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm a travel coach guide, so that's what I do.
Tell us about that a little bit. Use this platform to sell it.
Yeah, so I show people around, people in the diaspora, people who want to experience Ghana. So I I show them around. That's what I do.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So what's your, if someone wants to get in touch with you to, you know?
Yeah, Nanaya Suspense on all social media.
On all social media.
Yeah, Nanaya Suspense. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, wherever. LinkedIn. No, LinkedIn is Victor Musi. That's like man.
Your official.
Professional.
Victor Musi.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, are you looking to, let's say, make it like a seasonal thing, this chit chat zone thing, building a particular team for it that every year or every month or every week you are going to do it?
Yeah, we want to
or
do
you do
it
it every day?
No, want to do it monthly. Thinking of doing it monthly, and that's one every last Saturday of the month. Yeah, every last Saturday of the month.
So right after the 1st of March, right?
Yeah.
The next month is going to happen again.
Yes, it's going to happen. But it was supposed to start this month. Yeah. But the last Saturday is going to be like way ahead. Yeah. So we decided to move it to 1st, and on the 30th of this month, we host the 2nd edition. Then in April, we host it in the last Saturday of April.
Okay.
Yeah. So this the 1st is going to be for February.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just because of where the last Saturday of February will be. So Wow. This is great. Yes. So as I was saying, are you looking to build a team for it? So
I think we already have a solid team, and we have people reaching out to help us. So, but we need all the help that we can get. But for now, our team is very strong. So we have Joe, myself, Ifua, and Nana. So,
shout outs to Ifua and Nana. Anything you want to tell them?
Well, they are doing great. They're solid team, solid people.
Yeah. All right. So what are some of the things that you are looking forward to if it should come your way as a team in regards to this?
Yes, we just want to just want to be a part of people's happiness. People. It's a social world. Yeah. And you can't do everything on your own. You need people, and needing people, you have to go out. No one will come to your house or to your room to network with you or socialize with you. But we want to create a platform where all these people come to meet. Then, I think we've done something for them. We've done something great for them. So it's just the platform that we are giving people to come out. It's not like we want to profit or make money out of it. If we really wanted to, we would have reached out to big corporations and stakeholders. They will push in the money, we will rake in the profits and all that. Yeah.
Now, we will be wrapping up very soon. But before that, it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
I can just go wherever I want. I can go and sit at the Blue Gardens. I can just go and sit on the park somewhere to watch football and all that. What is the advantage this chit chat zone is going to give to me when I take part in it? What are some of the advantages that?
Like I stated earlier, coming to meet people and building your social life. Okay. And it will cost less. It will cost less for you. The cost 60 cedis, very affordable and reasonable. So secondly, you probably have been speaking to people on social media, online all the time. This creates the right avenue for you to meet them in person. Yes, and also if you are doing something, it gives you the platform to sell yourself.
Wow!
Just like I'm doing over here. So I'm here, I'm talking about my business. Joe is doing the same thing as well. So when you come there, maybe you're into something. You try as much as possible to meet a lot of people, showcase what you have or what you sell to them. It's like a market space.
It's like a market space. Yeah. Showcase what you have, what you sell, and what you do at the Chit Chat Zone Fun Party happening on the 1st of March at the Next Door Beach. You can't miss this. I'm not missing it, but the AC is missing it. Yeah, AC must miss it.
Whoever misses it, nightmare.
No, I mean, but this is such a great initiative that you guys are putting out there, because I mean, meeting people, it connects you business wise. You never know. Maybe something that you are doing, I just bumped into Joe. Hey Charlie, you said what? Charlie, I did. Really? I didn't need something, so I know someone who. Charlie, let me call this. So it gives you that platform, connecting with people. What's the right word? Networking. Networking is one of the greatest assets to, wealth in this world. Networking. So this is a great platform for everyone listening to us this morning. I'm with Joe Fans and Nanaya Suspense. You can follow them on all their social media platforms at Joe Fans and at Nanaya Suspense. Nanaya Suspense is a tall guy. Okay, so there are Obikache say nufu bia mountain bia say nufu, and now Suspense will take you there. And I mean, anything that you want to buy, everything that you want to buy, Joe those and these things, furniture, cars, name it, clothes, fashion, phones and accessories, everything. You get in touch with Joe Fans and he will sort you out. It has been such a great interaction with you guys in here. I'm going to give you the platform, each 1 minute. Say something to the people. If you want to advertise your business. Joe, before then, your foundation, how do we get in touch with you if someone wants to donate something to the cause of what you do?
Alright, so I have a number under my foundation.
Okay.
0243 39 9393. That's my business number.
Okay, 0243 399393.
Yeah. I better have that number for only business. So when I see that phone ring, it means it's business. Yes, and I have my personal number too.
Okay.
But that one there, I don't really do it.
You shouldn't. So tell us anything aside that, anything you want to say to people regarding the Chicha Zone.
Okay. Chicha Zone is something that's going to be like massive and fun. So I'm expecting that. But I received a lot of DMs. I was like, some people say, Joe, is this your program? So yeah, it's part of it. So okay, then I'm coming. So in myself, I'm expecting a lot of people.
Expecting a lot of people. You can't mess it. Joe is inviting you to the Chicha Zone. Nana? Well, what do you have for us? Say something about, your business and then also.
So, in life, I would always say, I think I saw this on social media. It was so profound that it says, start anything you want to do. And when you start it, then you can think of how to improve it. Or improve upon it. So, for me, starting my business with a tour guide, it was a challenge because I was looking for resources, right? So all the time I keep giving excuses, and the year will pass by, and the year will pass by. But I just started with nothing, and as time went on, like everything was falling in place. So you just have to start it, and also take advantage of social media. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of good things that you can find on social media. So it depends on what you use it for.
Wow.
But is it for the right things? You'll be amazed.
You'll be amazed.
Be amazed.
So that is Nanaya Suspense for you. Thank you for tuning in with us as we bring an air to our
so if I don't give a shout out to this lady, she might.
Go ahead.
Anobia Regina. Shout outs to you.
Where is she?
She's at home, but she'll be coming. She'll be coming with a +1. she said she'll be coming with a +1, and I'm reminding her that she should bring the bottle. Like either she brings the bottle, like one bottle herself and the +1, or they get some chops, maybe some meat chops or something.
You can also
nice.
bring that. Okay. So, Anobia Regina, wherever you are, Nana is giving you a message. Your +1 should come with plus bottle, plus chips and chops on the 1st of March, Saturday. The next door beach. It's happening. Chicha Zone. Come and network. Come and socialize. Come and advance your social life, where you meet people for business, for interaction. You can even meet your life partner there. You never know. I mean. You never know. You can do the all you want, but you never know. Yeah, it's been a great morning on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Radio. We will be coming your way same time tomorrow as we end today's pro show. My name is Pakwesi Omari, and anchoring the show with me this morning was the beautiful AC Now. We will see you same time tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.